All right, we have a huge update to the Railgun Lightning Mercenary. I'm going to go over everything that's changed real quick, show some bossing after I explain everything that's changed, how to play it, how to proc all the buffs, all that shit. My last 3 nodes I want to get up to, which will put me to level 94 that I think are worth it. Gear changes, what you should do, all that stuff. I'll throw up a tier 18 map. Yes, you can take a tier 15 map, corrupt it. I corrupted like 20 maps and only 2 went to tier 16. Everyone else went to 14. That was fun. But it was a tier 16 map, which if you've never seen them, they do exist. Tier 16. And then you get a irradiated and a corrupted map. I am also running at the moment. Look at this. Full map boss difficulty, all +4. Actually, I guess you could... Well, no. Yeah, instead of getting those, I could go +1/+1. Instead of getting these last 2, I guess. So I guess you can technically make it +6. Maybe we'll mess around with that one day. I don't know. But, yeah, that's what we got. So, check the bosses out. I guess since we aggro the monkey, we step into the arena here. Oh, we can't get our plasma blast off. Jesus, dude. Alright. I guess that works. He died so fast. Yeah. Come on, sir. What you got? I haven't seen this guy in a while. He done. Fucking vines got in the way. Come on, sir. Come on, sir. You're dead. Dead before she can even fucking start her bullshit. Bunch of shit just exploded in the grass. Couldn't even see it. Not in a good spot at all. Hello? Horrible location for a breach. We do really solid damage now on these breaches. Like, even the rares are just melting. Alright, that's it for the breach. Alright, one of the biggest changes, I got my final ascendancy points. So we spec'd into No Mercy. Neural. I don't know why I came out like that. So yeah, this Witchhunter build, a lot of people are going for sorcery rewards. Screw that. Everything one-shot you. I have like 2.1 life now. I got a little 100 energy shield. Resistances are all capped. I think chaos is only 1% under. Look, man, everything one-shot you. This build is not one of those builds where you can just pump energy shield. If you go gemling, sure, you can do that. But guess what? We're rolling decimating strike. So basically, right, we have culling strike. Not too crazy. But then on these 2 nodes, we get 70% increased damage with hits against enemies that are on low life, which means 35% or lower. Okay? Decimating Strike can do up to 30% health on your first hit, plus the damage you do. It's absolutely massive. Sometimes I can either chunk. Sometimes I can kill bosses with just my railgun. Sometimes I get them down to 60%. Sometimes I get them down to like 40%. It just depends on how Decimating Strike procs. But now that I have no mercy, deal up to 30% more damage to enemies based on their missing concentration. And the node before that, you break concentration with 100% of damage dealt. So once you do your initial hits and then you start blasting, you're doing an extra 30% damage because their concentration is missing. And then once they get to low life, you're doing an extra 70% damage. So once you get them to like 50%, it's like yeah, and it's like it just flies. It's done. I'd rather have this than fucking a little fucking bubble around me, a fucking stupid little bubble. Anyway, I know a lot of people are running this shit. You don't need it. Everything's disintegrating with this build anyway, so I'd rather have the bossing nodes. But as far as, yeah, this is probably the strongest bossing Witchhunter setup. But yeah, so on top of that, got new gear. I just see my base DPS for crossbow shot is 33,673. Pretty crazy. I do have a new thing, thanks to chat. I used, not Ripwire, I used the artillery ballista in Act 2 and Act 3 Cruel when I was still doing the campaign weeks ago, because it gets aggro. And somebody was like, hey, try this out. So you can put this totem down, and we've slocketed it in Font of Rage, which gives us up to 30 rage, which is an extra 30% damage if you stick with this thing. 2% life regeneration, which is huge. That's you know, an extra like 20 some per second. This makes you just place it like instantly fast, and then lock down, because this does pin damage. Not so much on the bosses will it pin them, but if you're doing mobs, it just locks them in place, and you know, if you're struggling on maps, it's nice. But yeah, so basically, if I put this bad boy down, you see how my rage is going. So right now I'm gaining rage, and I have regenerating life. Okay, so my life regen, I did lose some life regen, but with this on, I'm at 78.1. okay, pretty good. But and it only has like a 2-meter radius, so if right here it doesn't work, so you have to pretty much stick on it. And what you can do when you go into like a boss room or something, you can place it, let it get up to 30, and then like watch, like if I need to go up and fight the boss, what I can do is I'll be like, all right, it hit 30, I'll just run up, place another one, and then I can catch it at like 20 and then start blasting the boss. So that way you're 20 to 30%. But if you look now, look at my base DPS, 43,000. Went up 10,000 just from this little totem, okay? And if you look at like my Shockburst rounds, the pulse, 272,000. Now it's nothing crazy. I will show you, you can get your Shockburst rounds damage per second above 500,000. And when I play with my buddy who buffs us, I've gotten it over 600,000. It's pretty nuts how strong this build is now. So the main change is that Ripwire giving us the buff, and I still have the node where every time you switch ammunition fired, you get an extra 25% increased damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down. I'm going to let it get to 30 real quick. I'm going to put another one down on top of it so we keep the buff. I'm going to switch to this. I'm going to blast this. I'm going to switch to Galvanic, and then I'm going to switch to Shockburst, and we're just going to blast. And then we're going to look, and now Shockburst is up to 477,000. I could probably get one more clip done. And now it is at 527,000 with the rage, with the switching ammunitions, and also with Shockburst, I have the fresh clip, so we get 1% more damage for, you know, every bolt reload of the past 6 seconds. And then you pop emergency reload, and you get the extra 30% more damage. So you can take Shockburst and scale it over double. I mean, we were sitting at what, like 240, 230,000, whatever it was. We gained 300,000, more than double, just by popping all of our buffs. So, and then this doesn't take into effect the concentration, the extra damage on low life, right? So by the time you start cranking this after you do the railgun, that 30% damage boost comes in from concentration. I mean, plus the low life, this is probably hitting close to 1 million per second. It's disgusting, and it's just really crazy. So those are the biggest changes. I'm not using voltaic mark anymore. My shock magnitude is like, I don't know, somewhere in the 30%. This will put it in the 50s, but like, I honestly don't notice any difference in damage. Maybe if I scaled it up to 70 to 90%. There is, obviously I can still get a perfect jewelers if one ever wants to drop. I could put in the skill that gives me an extra 75% magnitude, but 50% less duration. And if I did that, I would run, I would grab another 70% shock duration. But at the moment, I'm speccing into something else, which I will explain when we get to the passive tree. But that's something to think about. I mean, I could do that. If I hit level 96, I could get what I'm doing now and get that. We'll see. Most people probably aren't going to get that high anyway. But those are the biggest changes. As you can see, the damage output can get pretty high. Mana consumption is getting crazy because I got a new crossbow with +6 and my amulet's +1. I would like to get a +7 and a +3. I don't know if my mana would be able to support that, but my mana regen is 78.9 right now. Keep that in mind. If you're able to get projectile skills +7 like me, mana will be a problem. As you see, my intelligence is a lot higher than it used to be. My dex is pretty good. My resistances are solid across the board here. I do have the charm here, so that's 18 chaos. So you're looking at 74 chaos with the charm. So we're pretty much capped on everything. Just keep in mind, if you stand in the on death effects, you will die, but that's pretty much every class. It's pretty good. You can survive a good amount. All right, I have been doing tier 15 maps, just blasting through them like it's nothing. Every once in a while, something will catch me, but it's mainly the on death effects. Keep that in mind. But the build does very good. So yeah, let's go over the skills. Okay, I did remove all my shit from crossbow shot because it just doesn't do anything. It'd be nice if I could put like pierce and other things and it would apply to all the skills. That would be broken, so I see why they didn't. But as you can see, level 26, 26, 26. Like my plasma blast is doing 5,616% attack damage. Now, if you look at the tooltip, it says 193,000 base. Once you get your buffs going, it'll go up. But like, it does more than that. That's not like, all of these do more in reality than the tooltip says, but it doesn't take into effect all of the buffs that do happen. So galvanic shards, nothing has changed with any of these besides what I put in ripwire. Okay, so if you got the last build, you're still up to date. Okay, but we'll go over it real quick. I'll go a little slower than I did last time. Galvanic shards, and also you want to take gem cutters prisms and get all your quality here to plus 20%. Okay, that'll unlock like different buffs and stuff, more bolts, more damage, more shock duration. All right, so make sure you're bumping up the quality of your gems. Okay, so galvanic shards, running conduction, acceleration, primal armament, and fork. When I get my 5th spot, I'm probably gonna run innervate, which when I kill a shock enemy, it gives me 35% to all lightning damage, which should apply to every skill. I don't know if I'm gonna put it on that or Herald of Thunder. I gotta mess around with that. Plasma blast, nothing has changed here. Scatter shot, hourglass, mobility, and lasting shock. Right? Shockburst rounds, martial tempo, heft, Elemental Focus, which that's another that doesn't take into effect on the tooltip, I don't think. Maybe it does. Concentrated Effect, that's big for damage. And Fresh Clip is what we're using to scale it. You can get pretty much in the 6 seconds, I think you can drain 4 clips with the attack speed we have. And our attack speed's gonna get faster, by the way. So you can scale this to pretty much 80 to 100% extra damage. Like I said, it got over 500,000. I showed you guys that. Emergency Reload, nothing changed. Premeditation, Persistence, Ingenuity, and Inspiration. Now, the Mobalytics link that I put in the description and the pinned comment, all of this is there. It's all updated. My gear's updated. Atlas tree's updated. Everything's up to date. So if you don't want to watch this, head over there. Hero Thunder, Lightning Infusion, Long Shot, Cannibalism, and Magnified Effect. Wind Dancer, same two. Precision and Herbalism. Precision's going to come into play here when I get my next 3 levels. Extra 30% increased accuracy rating. I'll show you guys something else when we get the skill tree, what my plans are. It's going to be nasty. Voltaic Mark, you know, it's one of those things where, like, I was trying it out, getting extra magnitude, but I just don't see extra damage when I do it. And instead of switching and popping that real quick and then having to, like, because when I switch to this and then I switch back to my crossbow, if you try to preload the bolts, sometimes when you switch back from this, it like, I've had so many people tell me that they have their crossbow jam. It doesn't fire sometimes. I think it's just a bug with the crossbow at the moment. But when you switch to this and you switch back, sometimes it doesn't fire. It'll take a second or two before it fires. Sometimes you got to reload it again. And when you use this and then you go to use, if you got to use Plasma Blast, it just like locks up and it doesn't engage. So I think just for my sanity with how the crossbow is kind of just a little borked right now, I'm just not going to use this anymore. Like I said, I don't notice any extra damage. Maybe if I got the magnitude to 70 to 90%, maybe I'd see more damage. But with how the crossbow jams and stops working, it's just a hassle to switch to this, pop it, and then go back to the crossbow. It's just because if that jams and then instead of you getting your damage off, the boss just comes up and bops you and you're sitting there like, why is my crossbow jamming? And then you die. Yeah, it's happened to me. So but anyway, I'm running a Lightning Mastery, Neural Overload, which does nothing, honestly, and Arcane Tempo. So, yeah. Ripwire, the new one, Ripwire Ballista. It is a totem. It is giving us 30% damage, more life regen. It's kind of nice. Kind of nice. All right. Like I said, if you just plop this down in maps, then it's going to pin enemies, it's going to chain them to the ground. It's nice. The 30% damage is the best. Like I said, you can sit there, pop it, wait, like outside the boss room, run to the boss room, pop another one down, and then that way you'll keep that 20 to 30% as long as you stay with it. Obviously, if you got a boss that moves around a lot, it's going to be a little worse, but at least you can get your plasma burst off with an extra 20-30% damage. So I got Font of Rage, so you gain the rage. Font of Blood, life regen when you're standing in there. Ancestral Urgency, which does 80% increased totem placement speed. And I have Lockdown, 120% more pin buildup against enemies within 2 meters. Okay. So, yeah, this is one of the biggest changes of the build. Like I said, put all the quality in there. I haven't seen level 20 skill gems. When I do, I'll be level 27, and we'll get even stronger here. That's it for the skills. Let's go over there. The passive tree. Okay, so nothing crazy has changed here. It's all still the same from last time. The only thing is I went up 1 here and grabbed another emerald. Okay, I'll go over my jewels before we get out of this tree. I went up and grabbed that emerald slot. I grabbed more attack damage and maim. I'm pretty sure all this magnitude was on the last one. I gained that extra 20% shock duration. And pretty sure this socket was also on the last one. And then basically what I'm going to do now is spec right underneath where the acceleration and skill speed nodes are, accuracy. Attack damage accuracy, attack damage accuracy, and then this 1% increased attack speed per 250 accuracy rating. Attack speed, we've gotten a lot of attack speed with this build now, and I want more. And keep in mind with how, because if you look, Galvanic Shards takes 148 mana to reload. Shockburst, 261 mana to reload. And it'll blast in like 1.5, 2 seconds. So you will eat your mana. Like, look at this. Our mana is pretty much gone. So you will have to pop a mana flask, you know, every once in a while, which isn't horrible. That's what they're there for. But keep that in mind once you're pumping these jewels up to 26, 27, you're going to eat through your mana, okay? I never used to have issues. Now I'm having issues. But, yeah. I mean, we're going up another 2.3k DPS just on the base. I mean, and this... Okay, so our accuracy right now, if you go in advanced info, our accuracy is 2,808. Okay, now we're getting an extra 16%. That'll put us to 3,000. Okay, put us over 3,000. It should. So if you go back, remember when I said I got something to show you guys? The node I have up here increased 40% increased accuracy at close range. Close range is within 2 meters. So basically, that totem is also 2 meters. So when you're doing like breach, or you got enemies that run up on you and they kind of like get in your bubble, you will have an extra 40% accuracy. Okay, the reason I left that in there is when I have over 3,000 with this and I get 40%, you're looking at like, let me do the math real quick. So you're looking at an extra 1,200. So we should have about 4,200 give or take accuracy. We get an extra 1% per 250. Okay, so you're gonna get 12% just on your base accuracy, an extra 12% attack speed, and then when that goes off, you're gonna get another 4, maybe 5. So you're looking at, when you have enemies like really pushing you, or if you stay like real close to a boss, like right on them, you're looking at 16 to 17% attack speed on that this will give you. So yeah, make sure if you're gonna follow me on this passive tree and go for that by level 94, you're keeping this accuracy rating up here, because that is honestly going to be huge. Once they like, you'll be blasting real fast, and when they like push you, it'll get even faster, 4 or 5% faster, just real quick. So that'll help for getting them out of your hair. But that's the plan for the passive tree. It literally is the same as last time. It's on the Mobalytics page. And as far as my emeralds, I'm running all emeralds. This one has 20% increased damage to rare and unique, 16% damage to crossbows, 6% increased shock duration. This one, increased attack damage, increased damage with crossbows, increased duration of shock. Where's this one? Lightning damage, penetrates lightning resistance, damage with crossbows again. And then this one is doing lightning damage, crossbow reload speed, magnitude of shock. And then the last one I have is lightning damage, damage with crossbows, and 4% attack speed with crossbows. So that's what you're looking for the emeralds. And on top of that attack speed that we're going to get, eventually, once I'm just completely wiped out of currency right now. When you get the Hand of Wisdom, we're about to get into the gear here, but the Hand of Wisdom in action is getting us 3% attack speed per 25 decks. We have 275 decks. So you're looking at 11 times 3. You're looking at 33% attack speed from these gloves. Once if you Val Orbit and get the good roll, this will go to 4% attack speed. So you're looking at another 11% on top of that shit. This will... Best scenario gloves here will give me 44% attack speed. Now, if you're gemling and you're stat stacking, you're going to be faster than that. Just watch your mana when you do that. But also the lightning damage, I think goes to 1 to 11 or 1 to 12 if you get the 4% attack speed plus that, which is pretty good. So I'm getting a good boost from intelligence right now. Depending on what you roll on your gear, depends on how you're gonna have to go to your passive tree and change. Like, I got the new crossbow I have gave me some strength. I don't want strength on my crossbow, but at the moment it was a better crossbow, so I took out a few strength nodes and pumped more intelligence, which gave me more lightning damage, because the gloves give me every 10 intelligence gives me lightning damage. So if you're working your build around, your gear is not going to be exactly the same as mine. Keep that in mind. Switch some things around. The lowest strength I'd probably go down to is probably 116, just because the highest level crossbow I've seen is, I think, the level 77 with 116 strength. But I mean, our strength right now is keeping us above 2,000 life, so that's nice. But yeah, keep in mind that we can get a better roll of the unique gloves here and get 4% attack speed, which is going to be a huge boost. So if you get another 11% plus that, what, 16%, you're looking at another 27% attack speed we can get with that Falcon Dive node, plus getting a god roll of this. It's going to be pretty crazy. All right, I got a new crossbow. I lost my elemental damage, but it's okay. It still is doing more physical damage. My other one capped out at 369. This one's 431. I did lose a little bit of lightning damage. It is a lower roll for lightning damage. The 1 to 140 would be ideal. The physical damage 19 to 29 is not ideal, but it's pretty good. Okay, so you're looking for physical damage percentage, the flat fizz, flat lightning, +6 to all projectile skills, because we were around +4 for the longest time. We're getting the dex and the strength. I would like to get rid of the strength and I don't know, anything else, honestly. Maybe like leech life, since life is kind of an issue when you know, do some hits, or you know, get rid of that strength and get the dexterity to in the 30s. That would be nice, but this is what we got for now. Okay, helmet, I am running all 3 stats. Since I'm not a gemling, I can't do stat stacking. It's an armor and evasion, just because that's the only one I found that had strength, dex, and intelligence on it. So that will scale our attack speed and our lightning damage. Mana roll is a little low, but I focused on life as well. Got to hold on, babies. All right, and then chest piece. Whatever you get, make sure your resistances are maxed out, okay? I'm probably going to stick with evasion and energy shield as much as I can, but this is what I got. So max life, evasion, cold lightning, life regen. Getting huge life regen on this chest, so because my life regen is only 35.4. When I have that totem, it goes up to the 70s, so it like doubles, so keep that in mind. Obviously the hand of wisdom in action. My boots, I would like to get 35% movement speed, evasion, energy shield, resistance. Could care less about the attribute requirements. I'd rather have something better. My belt, I got life, mana, armor, and then resistances I need. There's that. Rings, I'm running physical damage. That lightning damage or percentage of lightning would be better. A little bit of accuracy boost, which is going to be good for attack speed. Mana, dex, elemental resistances again, and then I don't want the fire damage. I got increased lightning damage, flat and percentage, strength, cold res, mana regen rate, 69% mana regen rate, which is very huge here because we need mana regen because of how fast it goes now. So keep that in mind. Like, I have to remember I have 14 strength here and 20 strength here. That's 34 strength. If I lose that, I'm down to 105 strength. I would have to boost it by another 10. So if I do replace these and I lose all my strength, I'll have to pull out of dex or intelligence on my skill tree. So maybe I'll try to keep strength on one of these. Amulet, I allocated style bender for now until I get the one I want. This gives me 25% increased physical damage plus 10 strength. I will lose more strength there. That's what I'm running. Accuracy, the increased armor is not helping our build because we're not pushing armor. Our armor is at 12%. Big mana, +1 to the projectile skills, Critical damage is kind of whatever, and then resistance. I just throw a shit bow on there for Voltaic Mark. I'm just going to get rid of Voltaic Mark, I think, at this point, and get rid of that. And then whatever flash you want to run, and then I'm using the Chaos Resistance Charm. All right, so that's it for the build. I will throw up the tier 18 map clear so you can see it in action. And yeah, I mean, even just blasting Galvanic, you get an extra 1.2 base. You know, when you're out here switching, you know, because you get 25, you know, % extra. It's just, it's in a good spot. So I'm going to push for that extra attack speed. And, you know, I guess like super end game, get an ingenuity belt with that 98% increase to quality, or boost to whatever your rings are, get breach rings. And then like if you could get like higher, you know, that would basically give you 4 rings if you think about it. So if we had 30% increased lightning damage and we got an ingenuity belt that gave us 98% increase to our rings, that would be 60% lightning damage. So that allows you to really push end game. As far as like budget wise, this bow cost me 3 divines. This cost me 7 divines. I think you can get them for 5 right now. So it's not a super expensive build. It also isn't like, you know, crazy millions of DPS like some of the crazy builds we're seeing, but it's also a hell of a lot cheaper. It's fun. You know, hopefully they make some balance changes soon and we don't have to, it's just, you know, a little squishy. But I mean, a lot of things are. You get caught in an explosion, you're dead anyway. It doesn't matter who you are. So yeah, that's it, boys. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna put up the tier 18 map. You know the drill. Subscribe, come back, check out our Discord. All right, see you on the next one. Irradiated, corrupted, plus a tier 16 map. So that's technically the highest it can go at 18, right? 38% increased monster damage does suck, but out of our like 25 maps, we only got 2. Monster level 82. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. I don't know. Oh, it's this place? Everything's dying very easily. So they weren't. I'm not gonna bother the expedition at the moment. I'll wait till I clear the boss, because those expeditions can get real sketchy. This 19 spirit gem. First time I've seen one of those. Yeah, what is it? What is it? Shit. You already said you were going. You didn't even ask me, so. I mean, I guess, yeah, they do more damage, but they gotta touch me first. Not doing strong boxes. Waste of time. Oh, this is the boss. Get a rage up. Build that rage. Okay, we'll go in. Plop another one down. Can I charge this, please? And you're dead. Oh, we got the 4th book. Now we can get max max boss difficulty. Hell yeah. Nice. Love to see it. Got a divine of a strong box. Dude, no way. That's crazy. Like a lot of times they're bugged for me. Like I'll pop it and they'll just sit there and like, you know, drip the fog out, and then they never actually work. Or I'll complete the strong box, no more enemies are around, and they just never drop rewards. Kind of annoying.
Better than coin.
We can try the expedition now. I mean, for being tier 18, this ain't so bad. Acceleration shrine, alright. Can you get shocked, please, sir? Oh! Favored map slot unlocked? The fuck does that mean? Another acceleration shrine? That's crazy. What is a favored map slot? Unlocked. What the fuck does that mean? Gonna run out by the time I fuck.
Risky.
Hold it. Enough. Got 8 seconds. Go, go, go. And it's gone.
Yeah.
Dead? Bad?
We pockets are full.
My pockets are full. Take that. Map complete. I'm out of here. Wasn't too bad. You put distilled in the map with the waystone today. Yeah. A lot of people put greed into them.